Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gary Fowler, and we are here for the Founders Report. I am a serial entrepreneur. I've done 17 startups, been involved in 2 unicorns, love artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and the Metaverse, making a little dent in the universe. I've been involved in 3 unicorns, as I said. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and also Eva.ai, an AI HR tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Zhang. Love this stuff. From Silicon Valley, been into tech for over 30 years and looking for incredible founders and incredible startups from all over the world. And guess who I found? Nikka. So Nikka is here with me today. She's a co-founder and CEO of Cosmic Universe AG, an investor, speaker, writer, Stanford University. I mean, you name it. She's done incredible things. She's currently... Where are you today, Nikka? Are you in Germany, Austria, Switzerland? Where are we today?
Switzerland, Lake Zurich.
Oh, can you imagine that? She's in Lake Zurich today, so it's fantastic. How's the lockdown? Are things locked down in Lake Zurich now, or what's happening?
Not so much. No, it's beautiful sunshine. People are out. It's still 3G.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's running quite normal.
So Nikka Kessel's here. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what the Metaverse is. We're going to talk a bit about her background. And you're in Zug. It's actually Zug, Switzerland, correct?
Correct. Cosmic, our company, is registered in Zug, which is as well the crypto valley and an important place for artificial intelligence as well.
Okay,
One of the most important hub in Europe.
So I have a question for you. So you went to the Open University. What is an Open University?
Very good question. That's so long ago. I don't even remember. Open University was a program we could subscribe to as an international degree from my German university. So we studied bilingual and signed up in this university. We went once or twice, and then we got a dual degree.
A dual degree. Ah, interesting. And so you went to the University of Cologne?
Correct.
How was that? I love Cologne, by the way. It's one of my favorite cities. It's a beautiful, beautiful city.
It's a beautiful city. The most beautiful in Cologne is the people. So I lived in Cologne for 6 years. It has been amazing. And University of Cologne is one of the oldest. It's from 1100. So there's lots of history there. And I studied natural science, environmental science, and it's an amazing natural science faculty. And it's a huge campus. It's one of the biggest universities in Germany. So there's thousands of students around. And back then, obviously, we didn't have Corona. So we had a party on, study on time.
Well, there you go. It sounds like my kind of place. I remember when I came into Cologne, I actually spoke at the Pirate Summit. There's an AI conference that happens in Cologne every year. And I spoke at the Pirate Summit there. And I remember, I'd been there before because I used to go from Dusseldorf up to the Netherlands. And passing through by Cologne. Anyhow, I remember this incredible chapel. It was the most beautiful chapel that I've seen. This beautiful, like it looked like a movie. You would look at this place and I was awestruck by it.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest in Europe too. And if you spoke at the Pirate Summit, you may know my friend Stefan, who's one of the founders, and I built a startup with him in Berlin.
Oh my God, it's a small world after all, isn't it? Sounds like a Disney thing. Okay, so, and then you took some courses at Stanford in the executive program?
Correct.
Why did you do that?
Why did I do that?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Because I wanted to go to California and study with some crazy people.
Well, you come to the right place, you know what I mean?
Yes. So I guess throughout all my life, I've been super interested in tech and worked alongside growth and building companies. So Stanford was just a natural place I was drawn to intrinsically my heart had to go there to find out what this is all about. So, and I was back in the days working very closely with Google headquarter, Facebook headquarter for years. I was more in their companies than in the tech business we were building. So I was in the Valley anyways all the time, and this was just a very natural step to take some weeks off and go back to university.
Well, it sounds like you did it. How did you go to the United Nations, by the way? What did it come one day you get up and say, well, I want to do this United Nations thing. I'm going to talk about world tourism. And did you just like, how did that work?
I manifested that I wanted to go, and then I got in. But I had a little bit of vitamin B because my political governance professor in my climate change master's in Cologne, he was a lecturer and an advisor to the United Nations. So he had all his contacts, and so he got me into Madrid, which was the World Tourism Organization headquarters. And that it was amazing. Ever since I was 17, 18, I felt like I want to help change the world. So I went on with that and went there and worked on sustainable projects. We trained government officials in sustainable marketing and things like that.
Wow,
Really
that's amazing. And then did okay. So I got that. I got that. You manifested. Okay. What about just books? How did that manifest?
That was one of my parents' friend's son. He founded a startup, and I was always in love with him when I was a kid.
There you go. So it manifested.
and he was one of the smartest guys I knew back from school. So I knew what he was doing was good. So I went and joined and built the business development until we exited the company.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so fast forward. I'm just curious because I love the backstory. When you hear the people's backstory, it's amazing. So okay, so you get to work with Peak Works, AG, Boston. You're in Boston?
As well, yeah. The company is headquartered in Germany, and I built the Asia and the US office. So I was in Boston a lot.
Oh, that's great. So you spent time there, and then so you became the chief digital officer. And by the way, I spent time in Dusseldorf too. It's another beautiful city.
It is.
Although I got to tell you, I didn't realize I had not been in San Francisco at that point. I was actually coming out of Russia, and I crossed the street in Dusseldorf, and this lady came up, and I went against the lights. And in Russia, it's okay. And she was like, she was like, I thought, oh my God, I don't know what I did wrong. I was trying to figure out maybe there's a truck coming or something, but she was mad because I crossed the street in the wrong light. I didn't know. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Germans can be beautiful and Germans can be very tight in their heads. That's why I spent a lot of time in my life outside of Germany, actually.
It's refreshing to see it, to go down through this kind of different mentality. When I lived in Berlin and Waldorf and down in Munich, I understood it. I remember timeliness was critically important. If you had to be sure you were on time all the time.
Yeah. And I'm always told I'm the least German person people know because I'm never on time, except today. I was really trying to make it on time for you.
Well, it's great. Well, it's great to have you here. So it's very interesting. So, I happened to be invited to a Burning Man event last weekend, and down in Miami, and it was quite interesting. Actually, the weekend before that, I should say, 2 weeks ago. My how time flies! But it was quite interesting because a big part of the conversation and Warren Buffett's granddaughter was there. There were some interesting people. They were talking about the metaverse, and we got into deep discussions about the metaverse, NFTs, this whole world. And I was fascinated. And Clint Eastwood's granddaughter was there, Graylin. So Graylin, if you're listening, hi. But it was fascinating how people would really started to talk about the metaverse, and I told them about goodness and reinforcing goodness and kindness, that kind of thing. But tell us, what was your motivation for coming up with the Cosmic, and what do you want to accomplish with it?
Mm-hmm. So we're building something that helps make the world a more loving place and raise consciousness. That's what we're doing. And the metaverse and the avatars are part of that because we feel we can be the ones really bringing human values into the metaverse with all our avatars are, all the followers community is, and everything we are as a conscious community and team behind it. So it needs a very strong social emotional intelligence behind metaverse aesthetics and development in order to transport human values into it.
So do you think we have human values now, Nikka, across the world? Where are we as a society? Do you think that we're there in terms of values? Where do you think we are, and why is the metaverse this important for us?
Mm-hmm. So I believe humanity-wise, we're there as much as we never have been. And on the other side, we have not ever been as much far away as ever. So the polarity is very strong. The world is getting more conscious, and there's a lot of people who just thrive and build love and consciousness and sustainability into this planet and in communities. And then there's a big part of the world is in pain and is in a very rational mindset, excluding things like compassion and humility and very human things from the business world and other things. And the metaverse I find fascinating because it opens up a real new world where we can pilot things that are not possible in the manifested 3D world environment. So I see the metaverse really as a chance to introduce not only immersive, amazing experiences that go beyond what we've seen so far in augmented reality and virtual reality. I see this as a place where through communities, avatars, DAOs, we can really pilot a next level of society and invent through cryptocurrencies a new space of doing social democracy. So it's very, very exciting, and it's a super game changer to me that is enabling the world to come to a next dimension as well as a species. If we include this technology layer and all the possibilities, including blockchain, etc., into it.
And how important is it for each of us?
Depends on where you are as a human being. So I believe at the moment it's very few percent who even understand what this means. Once we're a bit further down the road and we have cryptocurrencies and communities and experiences running there, it is of major importance. So to me, NFTs as almost a type of a voucher and a new type of currency next to crypto can really, through the metaverse, enhance its importance. And if you look at cities like Seoul, Korea, they're moving into the metaverse as an entire city with all their ecosystem services, with their power, with their kindergarten, with their water storage, etc. So it is a place of digital layer that almost enables an easier transformation than we can process here in this physical world. So it's an enhancement for virtualization and progress for humanity. That's really what I feel. It can empower very much. Obviously, it's like plutonium. You can do atomic bombs or heal cancer. It's the same. So we want to do good with it. We want to.
That sounds like the book, The Secret.
Yes. No, it's we want to really use blockchain technology, the metaverse, and communities and avatar-driven social emotional intelligences to scale the frequency of love and consciousness across. And I strongly believe, as a founder, this development had to happen so that we can all do good on top of this possible layer now.
And so, what do you think is going to be real, Nikka? Will it be this metaverse world or the physical world? When do we transcend the physical world?
Well, to me personally, this already happened because I'm hyper in technology space every single day, and I feel very connected, deeply rooted when I'm in that space. A lot of people are afraid still of technology, and obviously it depends as well on the internet connectivity. Not the entire globe has access yet, so this has to somehow be solved, being an inclusive place for everyone. And I do believe there's we can we can solve things much more automatically and easier and nicer in the metaverse than we currently do in the, let's say, the old established system of banking, of finance, of economic power. There's a whole new opportunity of doing things decentralized, like not central power, etc., etc. However, people still want to go into the forest and breathe the trees and talk to their kids and being entirely outside of the space. But I do believe with new virtual entry ports, I don't think Oculus, for example, is a tool for the future, because it's a hardware. It's kind of weird to use still. It's not scalable into masses. So I believe through screens and much easier integrations of virtual reality entry ports into that, we will be much more like living in parts of the metaverse in our physical normal environment as well.
Got it. And would you see humanity coming together because of this? Do you think that's going to bring our collective conscious together? What do you think from your perspective? How, where is it going to, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit like the next level of social media movement, it feels to me. So we can, through the metaverse, through gaming experiences, through immersive experiences, really emotionally touch people and build a community. So yes, I believe it's possible. And I do believe we have a new chance, because social media in parts is kind of screwed up already. It's very commercial. It's it undermines free speech in some areas, etc., etc. So there's a restriction built in. So whenever you have a new possibility and an entire new layer to create, you have the chance to do something different. And with let's say the earliest philosophy of crypto and Bitcoin and with blockchain technology, it is about a decentralized, better, greener, more social, more community-driven, decentralized world. So this is very, very exciting at a point where humanity is now, and with all the problems we have, including Corona, where people are less in physical contact. So we can open up the space to come together. And I imagine, and what we're doing is we're building a global community through the metaverse and other means, with utilities through a token that you can actually access physically. So you can combine it very nicely. If all your utilities in your token are accessible, not only virtual, but physically, you can meet people, you have access to retreats, to community events, etc. It's a beautiful place to do it's almost a new state. Like you're building a new state in the metaverse. You do all your administration there. You can, through AI technology, create new power and voting mechanisms for a social web democracy society.
So do you think we can find love in the metaverse?
I do believe
relationships, like, it's interesting because I had this conversation yesterday with a group, and the conversation is, where will our relationships exist? And we talked about the metaverse, but do you think, and one of the companies that I've spoken to has a VR and AR for people that are in wheelchairs, right? It's almost like an avatar, like the movie experience, where they now become part of this other world where they can live their dreams and become fulfilled, if you will, a whole again. So what do you think? I mean, in terms of, so I get it, the positive emotions, building this camaraderie. I mean, I see it happening now with, here we are on VCTV. So I've seen it for the last 2 years being on VCTV, relationships develop. But where does it go, and how far does it go? Are we coming to the point where we're going to have one collective consciousness? We're all going to be together as one and help each other? Where do you see it?
Yeah, for sure. Full stop. And this is not a question. This is not a question just related to the metaverse. So from a spiritual point of view, what I feel is, yes, we're entirely moving fast into a space where we're more and more in a unity consciousness. Not all of us. The people who are open to us can experience this, and the metaverse can help us do this. And if you know that the mind and the body don't distinguish between whether you have a virtual experience or a physical experience. The emotions in your body are the exact quite same. Especially with Corona and distancing, you can create experiences that create this feeling of wholeness and togetherness, etc. I've been in an Oculus experience where you had someone build an experience of the feeling of being in a mother's womb, and that was quite authentic, actually.
How was that?
Yes, you had a very.
Did you crawl up and go in a fetal position and we laid in a bathtub or what?
That was cool. Real cool meditative immersive states.
Wow.
Where your brain was set into certain vibes and frequencies. So yes, it's possible. I do see, obviously, there is a necessity that we don't forget we're physical people with a body. This is our avatar. We're all avatars.
You think people could transcend their bodies and become just part of this other world, almost like Matrix kind of experience? They go beyond and they become part of that other world. They don't come back. Yeah. And I'm saying this loosely, but I'm serious about it because I see people creeping into the metaverse, and then in a not bad way, but I'm not sure they want to come back out, because if your world's not, your physical world isn't so interesting, why not just stay in the metaverse?
Yeah. So I guess it's a decision where you want to live, and we have to build gateways so that you can go force into the metaverse and come back and still enjoy your life. And obviously there's people who are addicted to gaming, etc. And this is definitely a topic you want to seriously watch. However, to me, the metaverse is not something entirely new. Let's put it like that. To me, everything that happens in technology is it's just a reminding, like people remember what we're capable of, human beings being our own technology. So we have the capacity as human beings to do telepathy if we want to, via meditation, go into an immersive state in a different dimension. We can access different environments just by our human body, which is the biggest technology that ever existed. We just forgot how to use it. So to me, a lot that happens in technology space, WhatsApp is just a form of re-remembering telepathy. Cloud computing is just re-remembering. There is a conscious field out there that actually stores all the information. Gaming is just a step towards re-remembering. There's actually a different dimension you can tune yourself into. So the metaverse is just, let's say, a different, and it's the most buzzword ever because everyone says, what is actually the metaverse? So there's all these metaverses that are developing is a new form, I would say, in between social media and gaming, and you use certain currencies and interactions. So it's an entire new social place.
Is it one thing or is it many? Is it like the universe, and then we've got solar systems and galaxies? What is a metaverse in your opinion?
To me, it's the metaverse is different galaxies. So Sandbox is one, Facebook is one. There's going to the one who's going to be the biggest is probably not even named yet. So there's a lot, and as
maybe
well,
that's cosmic.
This is going to be cosmic for sure. So we're creating a new world, which is going to be very, very big in terms of experiences, in terms of community through avatars. And because the world moves to unity consciousness and technologies and political approaches move to decentralization, at least in the modern ways, the only way that works, it's an island of different metaverses that all connect, and they connect through blockchain and currencies and community interactions, and they connect as well to frequencies. Because and I had very interesting discussions with our partners for the metaverse. They were asking me, like, how do we put the frequency of love and consciousness into the code we're building? And that's pretty essential, because in the end, there's people sitting there writing the code. So these people have to feel that frequency at the moment of coding, and you have to put meta text in the zeros and ones.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how do you do that?
Yeah, we have been discussing this actually yesterday, and I'm reading from this year. My technology colleague, she said, we have to develop a meta language, writing cosmic affirmations in computer code, she said. So
I love that.
So yeah, so you can by because that's the same for our content teams. We're a transmedia business next to other things. So the content team is channeling information. They're meditating before they're creating content. So if you're in the frequency, you can only radiate with whatever you do from the state you're at. So if you're in a very conscious state, the product you're developing is more conscious, and that's very interesting because it's really getting your team tuned in order to build something that radiates the energy you
Wow, that's amazing. So how do you do that though? That's a secret. That's like the holy grail, to figure that out, to be able to have everybody feel that love and compassion. And because sometimes technology folks that's not really where their heads are. They're really pragmatic. Let's get it done, and let's work on the next line of code tomorrow.
Yeah, and this is interesting because I've worked deeply in tech space and with a lot of development companies and a lot of the product and dev folks from the big companies, Alibaba, Google, and Facebook. And this world is very meritocracy driven, and this world is lacking humility right now. But the people that are working there are humans. They have a heart, and they have an ego that is really sheltering their hearts. I'm not generalizing too much, but that's what I personally experienced. So how do you do that? It starts from creating something as founders where you create an environment where people not only work as a mindful workforce, but they can be really building out their emotional intelligence and deploy their talents that are heart driven. So it's actually very simple. There's a system by an American philosopher. How do you plant the next form of DNA into the globe? And it's pretty simple. If you, as a company or a team or whatever community, if you ask yourself, what is your deepest heart desire, and what's your genius code for that? And if people find that out, and you have them in roles where they can live that, it's going to be an inspiring product that radiates love and human values. So
no, I love it. I mean, it's I'm a humanistic psychologist, so this is exactly I've been talking about it for a long time because it's really important, and love and affection, and we need it because it's the planet, we haven't been really treating each other right, and we need to start moving another path and understanding compassion and how to treat people a better way. And the metaverse gives us a chance to be able to transcend boundaries, to go places with people that we've never been able to go, whether it's a virtual trip to some place and spending time to changing into this new world, this new real world.
Yes, and understanding obviously the science of consciousness, understanding the realms of other dimensions is quite essential to build an environment where people can thrive and build this energy as a product in the end, and just being themselves doing this. And we as a company, for example, and it is not hard because we're one of the first ones doing it. Sorry, it is quite tough in the beginning because we're trained differently. So we decided to, as a company, operate not again on let's say just general business KPIs. We said, let's screw all that. Let's be really courageous and run the company and build the company just by the universal law. So we have to be who we are in our core essence, and remember who we are, everyone in the company, being in their highest potential possible. And with that, we're radiating the energy and we're attracting everything that wants to come to us. So, and
like the law of attraction.
That's the law of attraction, right? But you cannot say as a CEO, okay, I want XY revenue next year because la, 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 la. It's rather, how can we bring people into their potential, and how can we create something that radiates what we are and create value by that as a byproduct and revenue, etc. And that's fascinating because when you follow the laws of the universe and you're disciplined with that, sometimes you freak out because you have been trained in 20 years in business industry and things should go different and I need KPIs and where are we with the revenue, etc. But amazing things happen. You get calls from people that, and as well in the investment process, we said, let's go through the heart energy. There's a frequency that reaches people, and that's as well how we met, Gary. This is how we met, through an advisor of ours who recommended us to someone who then recommended them to you, and this is the heart frequency that is deploying all these beautiful events happening.
That's great. I love it. And so, how has it affected you personally in your personal life? Is it, because you have this different type of an attitude, how's it affected you? I mean, it's the law of attraction, and, manifesting. And I go through that myself. I've done it, always have done it, actually. And that's just how it works. And it's interesting how when you think about something enough, it happens, right? But be careful what you ask for. I've learned that too.
Oh, yes. Be careful what you ask for, because you may get it. Absolutely. It entirely changed my life and my worldview. It entirely changed not my core, but I got rid of a lot of things that I was trained in this society to be, which I was not. And I come closer to the essence of myself, where then you have so much energy and capacity to thrive, but you have to let go a lot of things that you thought you should be, that you're actually not. And that's very painful. It's very transformative. It's really hard. And
Have you had to do that? Let go of certain situations? Has that happened to you? Do you let go and you focus on the manifesting of the things? It's an entirely different way to look at life, isn't it? And that's what the metaverse is all about. People don't see it yet, but now they're starting to get it. When I was at this Burning Man event and we were talking about the metaverse, I actually had a crowd around me while I started to get into it. And these are some of the most well-heeled folks in the world in this situation. So I see it. We're coming to the top of the show. So tell me, what are you looking for right now? And what's important to you? Fundraising, where are you with that? And how do people reach out to you? So if they want to partake in the metaverse from your standpoint.
Yeah. So we're in the seed C round right now. We're still raising another 700,000 in capital, US dollars, and are moving into a Series A round next year. We're at a valuation of 11 million right now, and we're looking for strategic partners to work with who partner with us in forms of investment or technology partnerships for the metaverse, for blockchain technology, for launching the token. So the most important things for us is at the moment finding the very few fine partners that help us thrive global, even more global than we're now, in 2022.
That's fantastic. And how do people reach you, Nikka?
You can reach me via LinkedIn. You can reach me on my email. Is that something you can share? You can reach me via WhatsApp.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can go down through. So contact me if you need Nikka's coordinates. You can see her on LinkedIn, Nikka Kessel. She's out there. She's all over the place. And Nikka, I want to thank you so much for joining my show today. I want to thank the entire La Token team for making VC team for making this possible. I appreciate it. I would like to say that we'll be back again in 2 weeks for another exciting edition of the Founders Report with myself as a host. Stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay safe. Keep smiling and go out there and let's all connect together in the harmonic resonance. Let's become part of the metaverse. Let's go down through and change our lives and make this world a better place for each and every one of us. So with that, my name's Gary Fowler. See you later. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. Love to everybody. Yeah, let's go out.
Love to everybody.
Let's share the love. Let's make this world a better place. We can do it together. Hasmik, thank you so much for taking your time today to be part of this. See you later.